Am I good? Am I close?
Well, let me see.
Close?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good. That's
Okay.
good. Right there, bang.
Okay. We're about to get blessed by this young man. He is a box office bully. When you talk about Fast and the Furious, when you talk about Jumanji, Central Intelligence, and the list goes on, this dude right here is about to electrify us. Please welcome Dwayne Johnson in the building. D!
Where's he at?
D!
Where's he at?
D!
Come on, brother.
Dude, man, you look fantastic.
Thank you, man. How you
Listen,
been?
I got to be honest with you.
Good to see you.
And I want to say thank you. But from watching you, it seems to me that at this point in your career, when most people would be like, hey, get those cameras away. I don't want to talk to anybody. Every single day, you're talking to the people. Why is that?
It's the most important relationship I have. Wow. Is with the people. As I reached a point in my career, I was tired of trying to be something I wasn't.
Wow.
And so I was told at that time, listen, you can't talk about wrestling, you can't go by The Rock, you got to go by your real name.
I don't understand why would they want you not to say The Rock?
In their mind, it was, well, if you're going to be a Will Smith, if you're going to be a Jamie Foxx, if you're going to be a George Clooney, right?
Yeah,
right.
Get that name,
If you're going to be a Jamie Foxx, this is how they did it.
Wow.
They didn't have a moniker. Right, it wasn't like the something, right? And you can't be as big. You can't. Yeah, it was a lot of things like that. So finally, I reached a point where I said, all right, two things have to happen. I'm gonna surround myself with a different group of people, different management, and then I'm gonna make sure that I just got to be me.
Right.
Be me, and if you want to call me Rock, you call me Rock. Right. I'm gonna get.
Because we didn't know. Because I was like, should I call him?
No, yes, of course.
No more Rock.
No, it's always Rock.
I need you to teach me how to say, can you smell what the fox is
this is
cooking?
big. How committed do we want to go?
I'm all in.
Here we go. If you smell what the Rock, then you got to look. Eyebrow is cooking.
Ooh,
Yeah,
shit.
okay.
Let's rock this
Come
shit.
on, come on.
That shit made you want to fight somebody, didn't it? All right, here we go. Okay, here. You count it up. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
If you smell
Come on.
what the fox is cooking.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay. You're the box office bully, but yet and still, there's that playful side.
Always.
Where does that come from?
It comes just how I was raised.
Right.
I got to be myself in Hollywood, but then also recognize that I got to tell my own story and I got to connect with fans and not rely on anybody else telling my own story, because it's how I make movies. I love to make movies for the world to enjoy, and a lot of our friends, and they do a great job. A lot of times they like to discover themselves in scripts. I'm not doing that shit. That's for my therapist. I will take care of my personal shit.
Right.
So I want to make sure that I really make a movie that enables people to have a great time. And I think when you think in that mind space, it really keeps that level of humility right in the forefront. We've had enough times in the past where things weren't so good, right?
Talk about that a little bit, when it wasn't good. I mean,
man, it was.
Because I understand, there's a movie called The Florida Project, which was about people living in hotels. Is that what you went through?
I was evicted when I was 14 years old, and then we were forced off the island of Hawaii. To move, of all places, we had to move to Nashville.
Wow, so you go
and then not the nice Nashville.
Oh my goodness.
The Ville of Nashville.
The Ville of Nashville.
And we lived in a little motel, much like that movie. I was trying to remain as positive as I could. The men that I've looked up to in my life, like my old man was a big, tough wrestler.
Yeah, because was it your grandfather? Who was it?
Grandfather and dad.
In 1967, they were in which movie?
Yes, you did your homework. Yes, come on, man. You only live twice.
Yeah, yes.
James Bond. Yes, that was my grandfather was in that role, and my dad went on to become a real successful pro wrestler. But at that time, wrestling wasn't as monopolized, or they weren't making millions of dollars.
Right.
It was paycheck to paycheck back then.
Wow. And now your company is called $7. Why is that?
It's called $7. So my goal was to play in the NFL, and that didn't happen for me. I went up to the Canadian Football League. I played up there. I got cut from there, and then it's at that moment where you're like, it's over.
That's what you thought.
I got to end this chapter in my life. I got to end this dream. Flew back down to Miami. My old man was living in Tampa. I said, I called him at midnight when I landed. I said, you got to come get me. On the way back up to Tampa on I-75, I said, God damn, you know, let me see how much money I got. I pulled out my wallet. I opened it up. I took out a 5, a 1, and change. So in my mind, at least I rounded up. I said, oh, I got $7.
$7, right? $7.
And that's why we have
that's
$7,
the name of the
$7
company.
production. And when I finally made it, 26, 27, so I turned the corner, bought my parents their first house, right? And I know you know that feeling, right? Yes,
Right, yeah, I know. I was separated from my mom a little bit, so she just came into the fold.
Oh,
Yeah,
beautiful.
So I was adopted, and now she's here, but it was funny. She just walks in the house the first day. I want a Phantom. I was like, of the opera? Let's get to know each other. Moana, that movie, man, touched everybody. We've seen that movie so many times.
Oh,
where
thank
the
you,
music,
man.
come on,
Thank
man,
you
where
so
the
much.
music come from?
But I love music, like you know?
Yeah,
you just love
I did.
music,
And
man.
you love country music.
I love hip hop, I love country, I love blues, but I think like you, I love traditional country music. Right? Where
Lee
it's-
Greenwood.
Lee Greenwood, George Strait. You like George Strait?
Yeah, George Strait came to my hometown when I was like 14. I tried to go see him. And they're like, what are you doing here? You can't come over here. What are you doing? What's a black
You got
guy?
the wrong concert.
You're in the wrong concert, fella. And I was like, no, man, I love George Strait, because I would take his songs and sing them to girls, you know, to girls that were predominantly black. They didn't really know. They hadn't heard country music.
Right.
So I would tell them that I wrote the song. They was like,
Well, wait, I know you did. You Look So Good in Love.
yes.
Right? You want to do a little? You Look So Good in Love.
Oh, how you sparkle, and oh, how you shine.
There it is.
Flush on your cheeks is more than the wine. Well, he must do something that I didn't do. Whatever he's doing, it looks good on you. You look so good in love. Talk about now.
Yep.
Talk about the influences.
Okay, I'm going to hit you with them right now, man. First time, by the way. I've never
Yeah,
talked about
yeah.
these influences. Let me see. We'll start off with Harrison Ford.
Wow.
Right, Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
right? The Fugitive,
Yeah.
Patriot Games, things like that. And especially with Indiana Jones, what I loved about that character that he did, he was able to kick ass, right?
Yeah.
It's always fun to kick ass, but then to have like a little charm.
From me looking on the outside, every character that you play, you're able to make fun of yourself in a sense.
Yeah,
But I
sure.
tell you take them on the ride, especially when I mean, you know, Fast and Furious has been my franchise for so long. So when you join it, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be incredible. Talk about that and how.
Yeah, that was special.
How special that was.
I got the call, and I met with Justin Lin, who was the director at that time, and I said, look, my goal isn't to come, I don't want to come in and just blow shit up. I just want to come in and help elevate the game.
Yeah, oh,
right?
okay,
And it's
okay,
hard.
okay.
You know how it is when you come on a set of Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like,
Yeah. What?
you know, my
How's he
boy,
doing
you know
that?
Kevin, right? You know, Kevin. I was with, we on Jumanji.
Oh, you have a great.
Dude.
I got to get into that.
When I first met Kevin, we have a great meeting. All right, brother, let's do this. Bang, we're gonna have a great time. As I'm leaving, he goes, hey, let me ask you something. I said, yeah, what's up, brother? He goes, why is it that everyone in Fast and Furious movies always winds up talking like that? I started fucking dying, brother. And I said, what? Because we don't know each other. But, you know, he's going to give me the business on it.
That's funny.
And I said, say it again. He's like, everybody talk like that.
You just show me how to do it.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. And he said, every one of you.
Yeah, I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Daddy got it.
But you know what's crazy? I love it. Talk about what it means to be positive to everybody when you go on your Instagram and you're riding in your car and you said, there's a good fan of mine right there, and look, she's crying.
Give me the fucked up voice.
She's crying. And she's crying right there. She just looked at me. She cried. As you can see, all the people behind me are crying right now because
they're all crying.
they're all crying.
Everything's gonna be okay, guys.
But you know what's crazy? How many big stars take time out to touch their fans?
So I heard this quote when I was 15, and back in the lean days, and the quote was, "It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice."
Wow.
And I remember thinking at that time, just like it happened yesterday, I thought, if I'm ever important one day, I'm gonna be nice to people if I'm ever important, because I always just wanted to apply that. I just love hearing that. And here we are, man. And honestly, brother, being nice, I always say this to people, being nice and kind is literally the easiest thing we can do. It's the easiest compared to being an asshole to people. And not only that, but then I've realized over the years that when you're kind to people and you're nice, you learn a hell of a lot more. And not only that, but then also, last thing is, you have an opportunity to make somebody's day. And I remember when I met a few people when I came to Hollywood. I won't mention their names. There's no need to. But when I met them, I was so excited to meet them. I was like, oh. Right? So you've had these stories too.
I had a few.
I'm like, oh, hey, good to meet you. And then you know, I kind of got blown off. And I was
Get
like,
the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it was that kind
You
of
have to
thing.
speak through somebody.
Yes.
Could you tell him, he's not having, he's not speaking words. He's only breathing.
He's not speaking words.
He's only breathing in today. He's not breathing out, so please.
It's like, get the fuck out of here.
Please.
That shit's real, by the way.
But you know what? I'm glad that you have the con. And I'm glad that that you are now in the position to do what we've all been waiting for, run for president of the United States. That's right. He is running for president of the United States.
It here.
He is in that. We're announcing right here on script. He's running for president. I am the ambassador of the after party.
Yeah. And which means that shit's gonna be on.
It's gonna
That's
be
what
off
it
the
means.
chain. But I know this is crazy. But in a sense, it's not, because as I listen to you talk, I think that is needed. Not getting political in this, but I wouldn't mind seeing someone like yourself, maybe when you've done what you've done. But I mean,
thank you, man.
We need
I appreciate
that.
that.
But I'm being very honest though. I I don't know if you ever met Will Smith and hung out. He has that thing where it's just this great thing, and then I see you, and you look like, okay, he could be president, and then drop over. You could drop him in Afghanistan, and he could kick ass at the same time. Like, you know what I'm saying? You meet with the head. If I have to, I'll come over there.
Is it gonna go down like that?
Going down? Are you going to war? No, I'm going by myself. Just drop this motherfucker. Just drop this motherfucker. You know, just drop
Come
it
back,
out.
spit out blood. We okay now. We good. We good.
Wouldn't that be crazy to see The Rock like the President Johnson has just jumped out of his own Air Force One and is hand-to-hand combat with Kim Jong-il. This is unprecedented. We thought the other guy was crazy, but this is amazing.
We thought the other guy was crazy.
And you just
This motherfucker's nuts.
helicopter. We just. You just fucking just. And I say it as a joke, man, but I really think that if we are going in that route to where I said this before, that I don't know if we'll be able to have a president who is not a celebrity or at least known by millions of people. Would you ever do that, man?
I would consider running, yes, for sure. And and this all happened organically. Washington Post ran a poll. Dwayne Johnson would run for president. Would you vote him? And could he beat Trump? And it was yes and yes.
Yes and yes.
And so in that, even if it's a small group of people talking, I always listen to the people. You got to have your finger on the pulse of what they want, and you want to make sure you give it to them. So even if people are talking that way, the most important thing I could do is consider it, and then we got to go to school. Right. Then you got to learn, right? Because I mean, holding office. Any level, local, state, federal, right, and then president of the United States, I treat that with such amount of respect, you know. And I think with President Trump, there's a lot of people who feel, well, now that he ran, anybody can run. Right. Come on, Jamie, you run. Come on, you run. You run the camera. You should run. But a lot of people also feel because of President Trump, not everybody should run.
Right. Skyscraper. Let's talk. Let's get into it.
Skyscraper, man.
Yeah.
It's a special one. So Rawson Thurber, who's a writer-director, he wanted to make this movie. He gave me a call and he goes, I have this idea. It's set in the tallest building in the world. It's on fire. You cannot come up the elevator. You can't go through the stairs. You have to use your brain, figure out a way to get in. And the fire is on the 90th floor, so you got to get above the fire line and get in to save your family. So he pitched me the whole pitch, and I said, wow. I said, I love it. I love this idea. And then he goes, oh, by the way. I said, yeah, you're an amputee, you have one leg. But we are so superhero heavy in our business, it was nice to go back
right.
to basic bones,
Yeah.
One man.
One man, one
leg,
building.
one building.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see that. Listen, we're here with Dwayne Johnson. His movie is Skyscraper. Can you set this trailer?
I can. So here's a clip of me, and some shit's going down.
Thank you. Off script, Jamie Foxx, Dwayne Johnson.
Come on,
thank you.
always a pleasure,
All right, baby.
brother.
Thank you.